what we are calling the gold card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the money that they've made. You wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. The green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came.
Did Trump seriously just announce a $5 million gold card selling American citizenship to the highest bidder? Yes, he actually did that, with a straight face, while standing in front of Congress. From blaming Biden specifically for egg prices to claiming he created a whole new government department for his buddy Elon Musk.
Then Donald Trump blames the surging prices of groceries and surging prices of eggs, the surging inflation, and the terrible economy right now, and the markets crashing. He blames it all on former President Biden.
Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, the egg price is out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration.
This speech went off the rails faster than you can say covfefe. Let's break down the 5 most unhinged moments that had even Republicans staring at their shoes. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
So we're not even halfway through Donald Trump's joint address to Congress. It's already off the rails and one of the worst speeches I've ever seen.
Such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or
Isn't it amazing that we are only halfway through this train disaster? With half of the speech left, Trump's speech is currently on track to become the worst congressional address in American history. Republicans haven't looked this uneasy since they discovered their daughters were seeing Democrats, in my experience. Let's examine the 5 most bizarre incidents that left even Republicans reeling. Trump began by launching into a full-fledged rage over Democrats' lack of applause for his fictitious accomplishments. Yes, he did pause his speech to express his displeasure that the opposing party was not applauding his actions. It's similar to getting upset with your dog for not giving you a high five when you haven't even taught him how to do it.
in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real.
As if it couldn't get any stranger, Trump revealed his $5 million gold card scam. There's nothing that says, I care about regular Americans, like offering citizenship to the highest bidder. This is a Trump-branded luxury product, not immigration reform. Do you wish to become an American? Please, that will be $5 million. The golden ticket is intended exclusively for those who he described as the most successful job-creating people. Fancy words for his wealthy friends who wish to avoid the immigration line while ordinary immigrants must deal with his strict regulations. Costing more than the average American will make in their lifetime, it's essentially a VIP pass to America. Then came the moment about egg costs that made everyone laugh, though not in the way Trump had in mind. He also specifically blamed Biden for the pricey eggs, and Republicans nodded as if this made perfect sense. Biden made your eggs expensive, Democrats moaned loudly as Trump roared. It's surprising that he didn't also blame Biden for the weather and his own hairline. The reproductive cycles of America's chickens are apparently now individually regulated by the President of the United States. Who could have known? When Trump made transphobic jokes about an African country that had Republicans laughing uncontrollably, the speech took an even darker turn. Punching down oppressed groups is a quintessential presidential move, isn't it? Trump prioritized targeting trans athletes while Americans struggled to put food on the table and pay their bills. The GOP legislators' genuine priorities were evident as they were virtually giggling out of their seats. They seem more interested in culture war foolishness than in finding practical solutions to the issues that ordinary Americans face. The most unsettling was probably the standing ovation Trump gave Elon Musk, who he said will lead his imaginary Department of Government Efficiency. Giving government authority to a millionaire with no supervision is the epitome of drain the swamp. As Trump effectively pledged to hand authority of cutting government departments to one of his wealthiest donors, Republicans stood up and cheered. It's similar like assigning Colonel Sanders to supervise the well-being of chickens. What might go wrong? This was a frightening demonstration of dictatorship, masquerading as administration, not merely a poor speech. In addition to being terrible policy, selling citizenship to the wealthy, targeting vulnerable populations, and granting billionaires unbridled power is a roadmap for America's downfall. Trump's idea of America appears to be more like one of his failed casino endeavors than a democracy. It is extravagant, exclusive, and geared toward the wealthiest. Additionally, keep in mind that this was only the first half of Trump's address. He was only acclimating his unique style of bizarreness. To ensure they strike everything they missed the first time, it's like watching someone crash their car in slow motion and then put it in reverse. The man who says he is the only one who can make America better is incapable of even giving Congress a reasoned speech without going off the deep end. Recall Donnie's Red Bull pledge to cure everything more quickly than Superman? "When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one," he declared. However, his magic economic wand appears to be backordered based on market data. What about his peace proposal for Ukraine? "I would have a deal done in 24 hours from the time we started," was Trump's exact quote. In any case, we have been waiting for this alleged diplomatic miracle for a long time. With harsh simplicity, Democratic Representative Clark encapsulated the thoughts of millions of Americans. Her reaction to the question of what she would say to Trump was two simple words: resign. Brief, sweet, and to be honest, perfect. So stay tuned, everyone. After Trump completes his presidential cosplay performance, we'll return to discuss the second half of this linguistic collision. The repercussions for democracy are far less amusing than the jokes themselves.